was after the tornado hit St. Louis, and I told you about a small handheld projector called Etude, that you sent me 4 poems.
I'm calling them etudes.
And I took your etudes for a walk, along a trail, down a hillside, to Vasiliki by the Ionian Sea. I'm taking photographs of things that belong in your words or come from them. You should note, although I have your poems with me, I'm not actually rereading them as I walk. You might say,
Let the poem rise. Aperture. Between you and the ephemera of your life, there is an opening. Call it ghost, God, wound, mouth. It is the troubling detail that possesses you. Whatever you call it, it sings. You can try to torture the opening. You can try to force cloth, metal, water into the dark of its throat. But nothing fills it. You can try to chain its arms and legs, but it has no arms, no legs. You are helpless before its singing. You are no longer yourself.
dragonflies mass the cow parsley, flowering yellow. They won't settle near me. If I lived here, I would study insects, specifically ones with legs that can jump. A spider's silk suspends across the path, catching my throat, sticky.
Vision. The 2-ton bomb unveils a theory of the human who lives beside the weapons factories, drinking the runoff, breathing the heady air, never to know the killed families. Between the bombs in Gaza City and Hiroshima and Philadelphia and the others I have forgotten, there are years and questions. There are the shared scenes of rubble. Wherever I turn, I face the broken walls of the West, all facades ripped off. I pass Idrisi, who sits in the remains of the Hollywood beauty supply of MLK in King's Highway, redrawing the oceans, to name the impermissible colors of grief. In the street one morning, I hear a story that someone died, her throat slit by a falling shelf. Maybe the shelf had been full of food or clothes or writings, everything, in a sense, now there for the taking. The eyes and hands and blood. Sometimes the wind is a tulip of fear, Lorca wrote. To speak of genocides is to speak of origins, ours. What is the map of the world that death would draw amidst the strange and persistent facts of abundance?
Where pastries are sealed in 7-day packets, where dinosaur teeth quarry a chalky scar along this side of the valley, where violet edges my path, drawing waves in scent of time.
Risala ila Fadwa Tukan, a letter for Fadwa Tukan. Nose te ipsum is the command not to know thyself, but to keep the record. I read your 5 songs for the Fadain. The poem keeps the record of my prison, which I once called a country, whose guards sow the crops of hell and plant roses of the wound. The poem suffocates on my tongue, one of the many tongues of the executioner. Let the poem rise with the death of the guards. Let the poem rise from a street where I touch and hold my loves and laugh in the face of the judge who denies my name. Will I find you there, Fadwa, wandering the streets of the poem, keeping the record of return?
An olive tree, hollowed, burnt. Will I find you there? On stenching death, I find a carcass broken by the road, and other gaping things, a doorless fridge, a doorless frame.
Memory. Europa was a Phoenician. In 1490, I saw her once, standing beside a red tower on the Baltic coast. Her voice was a labyrinth, and I walked in. She had no patience for nostalgia, only a longing for departures and old metaphors. She said, I have stories to tell you, though you will not understand. What sex was I on the shore of her language, imagining the migrations of the exiles? Perhaps an older city of severed voices lies muttering beneath the fictions of the new, the nation in which a child is looking at the moon through a shattered window, laughing, a sign of understanding or unraveling. About the fighters in the mountains of Jerash and Ajlun, Janae once wrote that there are glimpses of the real, where everything belongs to everyone. Sometimes a storm comes without warning, sometimes a bomb, sometimes a rebellion. In Europa's story, I was echo, freed of my author, matter in motion. Form was a ruse, a gust of wind. I wanted you to ask me 1,000 questions, was the last thing she told me as we sat beneath some trees.
The scent of the fig tree not in fruit saps musky. A small turtle scurries the stream bed cloudy. I say, let the poem rise.
So bright.